At the start of the 1980s, Ford performance was a punchline. The Mustang was making barely more horsepower than a modern lawn tractor, the muscle car was declared dead, and the fastest thing wearing a blue oval was a memory from a decade earlier. And then something changed. Over the next 10 years, Ford didn't just recover, it built some of the quickest American cars money could buy, and it did it with a V8 turbocharged 4, a family sedan, and a hand-built special that could embarrass a Corvette. This is the countdown of the 7 quickest Ford muscle cars of the 1980s, ranked by the numbers that actually got recorded at the test track, 0 to 60, the quarter mile, and top speed. Some of these you'll expect. Number 2 is the one your uncle swears was faster than a GT, and he's right. And number 1 made more power than anything Ford officially sold that decade. Let's start the clock. We start off at number 7 with the Ford Thunderbird Turbo Coupe, built from 1987 to 1988. The Thunderbird Turbo Coupe belongs at the entry point of this list not because it was slow, but because everything above it was quicker, and that's the only reason it sits at 7. What it represents matters more than its stopwatch time. This was the car that proved Ford could build a genuinely sophisticated performance machine without a V8 anywhere in sight. The intercooled 2.3-liter turbocharged 4 produced approximately 190 horsepower in its manual transmission specification, and it pushed the aerodynamic Aerobird body to a documented top speed approaching 140 miles per hour in period testing. 0 to 60 arrived in the mid-7-second range. Those are not muscle car numbers by the old definition, but the Turbo Coupe was never trying to recreate 1969. It was a boosted, wind tunnel-shaped Grand Tourer built by the same skunkworks engineers who would go on to define Ford performance for the next decade. It is at number 7 because the cars ahead of it hit 60 faster and ran the quarter quicker. But without the Turbo 4 gamble the Turbo Coupe represented, half the cars higher on this list never get built. The Aerobird didn't roar. It whistled, and then it was gone. Next up, it's the Ford Mustang GT 5.0, built between 1982 and 1986. If any single car deserves credit for reviving American performance, it might be this one, and its place at number 6 understates the cultural weight it carried. When the 5-liter high-output V8 returned to the Mustang GT in 1982, Ford's advertising said it out loud. The boss is back. The badge alone brought a generation of buyers back through the showroom doors. Across this run, the carbureted high-output V8 climbed from 157 horsepower in 1982 to roughly 210 horsepower by 1985 with its 4-barrel Holley and a roller camshaft, delivering a documented 0 to 60 in the mid-6-second range at its peak and a quarter mile around 14.9 seconds in period testing. Top speed sat in the region of 135 miles per hour. Those numbers placed it here, quick enough to matter, but not yet the fully evolved 5.0 that was coming. It is at number 6 rather than higher because the fuel-injected cars above it refined this exact formula into something faster and more consistent. But this is where the entire story starts. Before Ford could build the quickest cars of the decade, it had to remember how to build a fast one at all. The 5-liter V8 came back, and American performance had a pulse again. At number 5, it's the Ford Mustang SVO, built between 1985 and 1986. The Mustang SVO earns its place for a reason that goes beyond its documented figures. It belongs here because it made them with a 2.3-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, in a decade when the accepted definition of American muscle still demanded a V8. SVO stood for Special Vehicle Operations, Ford's in-house performance division, and the fully developed 1985 car was the machine those engineers had wanted to build from the start. With a Garrett turbo, an air-to-air intercooler, and Ford's advanced EEC4 fuel injection, the reworked engine produced approximately 205 horsepower. That was good for a documented 0 to 60 of around 6.6 seconds, a quarter mile of roughly 15.1 seconds, and a top speed near 140 miles per hour in period testing. Just as important, the SVO handled in a way no Mustang before it had, out-cornering a Porsche 944 in the slalom according to Road and Track. It is at number 5 rather than higher because the cars above it were flatly quicker in a straight line, and straight line speed is what this list measures. Whether the SVO counts as a traditional muscle car was debated even then, but it forced the V8 establishment into a conversation it didn't want to have. The SVO didn't care about displacement, it cared about engineering. That's the turbocharged half of Ford's decade. From here up, the numbers get serious, and the next car isn't even a coupe. If you're enjoying the countdown, a quick thumbs up genuinely helps the channel, and there's a link below to the full spec breakdown. Now, back to the clock. At number 4, it's the Ford Taurus SHO built in 1989. The Taurus SHO sits at number 4 as the single most improbable performance car Ford built in the entire decade, a 5-passenger family sedan that outran sports coupes costing twice as much. SHO stood for super high output, and the heart of it was a 3.0-liter V6, designed and built by Yamaha with variable length intake runners, 24 valves, and a 7,000 revolutions per minute redline that no domestic sedan engine had any business reaching. It produced 220 horsepower sent through a 5-speed manual sourced from Mazda. The result was a documented 0 to 60 of approximately 6.6 seconds, a quarter mile of around 15.1 seconds, and a top speed of 143 miles per hour, confirmed by Car and Driver in December 1989. At launch, it was recognized as the fastest front-wheel drive car in the world. It is at number 4 rather than higher because the rear-drive Mustangs above it were quicker still off the line and through the quarter, but the margin was smaller than anyone wanted to admit. At the time, the Mustang GT's V8 was only about 0.3 quicker in the quarter mile than this family sedan. The SHO wore no wings and no stripes. It just quietly humiliated cars that cost a fortune, then dropped the kids at school. Next up, it's back to the V8 Mustangs and the Ford Mustang GT, built between 1987 and 1989. This is the car that made the Mustang V8 badge one of the defining symbols of its era, and its place at number 3 reflects exactly how good the fully evolved formula had become. By 1987, the high-output V8 had switched to sequential electronic fuel injection and settled at 225 horsepower and 300 pound-feet of torque. Figures that, paired with the aggressive restyled body, made the GT America's default street racing machine. Car and Driver measured the 1989 Mustang GT to 60 miles per hour in 6.3 seconds and through the quarter mile in 14.7 seconds at 94 miles per hour. Top speed sat right around 140. For the money, almost nothing on the market could touch it, and an entire aftermarket industry, magazines, parts suppliers, drag racers, grew up around this single drivetrain. It is at number 3 rather than higher because there was a lighter version of this exact car that was quicker and because a hand-built special above it made far more power. But the GT is the one everyone remembers because it's the one everyone could actually afford. The GT didn't just revive the Mustang, it made going fast democratic again. At number 2, it's the Ford Mustang LX 5-liter V8 built between 1987 and 1989. Here is the car your uncle was right about. The Mustang LX carried the identical 225 horsepower high-output V8 as the GT, but without the GT's body cladding, ground effects, and extra trim, it weighed less. And in a straight line, less weight and the same power means one thing: it was quicker. In its lightest form, the LX notchback coupe was the quickest stock Ford of the entire decade, with documented 0 to 60 times dipping to around 6 seconds flat and quarter miles in the mid-14s, with well-driven examples on good tires slipping into the high 13s. Motor Trend and Car and Driver both recorded the LX matching or beating its flashier GT sibling. It is at number 2 rather than number 1 only because a single hand-built car made nearly 70 more horsepower and left the factory quicker still. This was the sleeper's sleeper, a plain-looking hatchback or notchback coupe with no badges to brag about, and a V8 that would embarrass cars twice its price at every stoplight in America. The LX didn't look fast. That was entirely the point. Finally, at number 1, it's the Ford Mustang Saleen SSC, built in 1989. The Saleen SSC is at number 1 because no Ford muscle car of the 1980s left the line quicker, ran the quarter faster, or carried a higher top speed, and because it did all of it while making more horsepower than anything Ford officially sold that decade. When Ford declined to build a proper 25th anniversary Mustang in 1989, racer and tuner Steve Saleen built it for them and unveiled the SSC on April 17th, the Mustang's exact birthday. Starting from the 5-liter V8, Saleen enlarged the throttle body, reworked the intake, ported the heads, added SVO roller rockers, tubular headers, and a low-restriction exhaust. The result was 292 horsepower and 325 pound-feet of torque, and crucially, it was street legal in all 50 states. Saleen documented a 0 to 60 of 5.6 seconds, a quarter mile of 13.9 seconds, and a top speed of 156 miles per hour, with independent magazine testing recording a 14.2-second quarter at 98 miles per hour. Only 161 were built, each one a stripped, chassis-braced, single-purpose road weapon with no rear seat and a $36,500 price tag. It served no purpose except to prove what a Fox body Mustang could truly become. Period testing confirmed numbers most buyers assumed only European machinery could produce. The Saleen SSC didn't revive the muscle car. It took the cheapest fast Ford in America and turned it into a supercar for the price of a Mercedes. So there's the countdown. From the whistling Turbo 4 of the Thunderbird Turbo Coupe, through the reborn 5-liter V8 GT that gave American performance its pulse back, past the giant-killing Taurus SHO, up to the featherweight LX sleeper, and finally to the 292 horsepower Saleen SSC that beat everything Ford officially built. The lesson of the decade is written right into this list. Ford stopped caring where the speed came from. A Turbo 4, a Yamaha V6, a cheap V8, a hand-built special, it didn't matter as long as the numbers held up at the track. That's how a company that started the 1980s as a punchline ended at building some of the quickest cars in America. If you think we ranked one of these wrong, and Ford owners always do, drop it in the comments. Hit subscribe for more Ford deep dives where the facts actually check out, and I'll see you in the next one.